Happy New Year, and I hope your 2018 is off to a great start. Thanks for joining us today as we focus on mastering advanced find and CRM, our featured training topic, along with answering your submitted questions in this month's CRM for Oil and Gas User Group. My name is Chad Collette, and I'm the Director of Marketing here at Ledger Partners. And if you've attended our user group in the webinar in the past, I want to say welcome back. And if this is your first one, we hope you find today's information valuable and something you can take action on right away. As always, LedU has placed a lot of training videos right within your CRM that you can access to help you get the most out of your CRM, all the way from basic out-of-the-box features and functionality to our latest enhancements. Now on today's topic and our presenter, I'm excited to introduce Michael Dodds, a Microsoft Dynamics 365 certified support consultant at LedU Partners. Now, to say that Michael's a Dynamics enthusiast is to put it mildly. He's a true champion in helping CRM users like yourself get the most from CRM for the oil and gas product to make a real impact on your business. Now, if you've been on a call with Mike, you know he loves talking about the weather. He's always up for a good joke, and just an overall awesome guy that loves talking about CRM all day long. Mike, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for that wonderful introduction, Chad. And yes, your bi-monthly or every month, I should say, weather report is the snow's gone. It's actually warm here for once. So we're all excited, and I know a lot of you from the South, so hope you guys are having some great weather there as well. But we got a great topic to jump into with advanced find and views. So let's jump on in. So to start off with, I like to take this table and kind of compare and contrast the different CRM data methods. Advanced find is just one of many, but it's also the starting point for a lot of these as well. So with advanced find, a lot of you may ask, well, there's advanced find and there's views. What's the difference? It's an excellent question. An advanced find is really, it's a one-time pull. It's a one-time data set that you're looking at. You're not saving it and referring to it over and over and over again. It can also be a set point in time or a date range that you're doing a one-time pull on. So when you're not using just an advanced find, it's when you're doing a dynamic data set. So you want to constantly update it. So you're looking at, let's say, the last 3 months, and you always want to look at the last 3 months, no matter where you are within the year. Or you need to see this data frequently. So if that's the case, what do I need to do? I need to look at a view. And simply what that is taking an advanced find and saving it as a view. So you're looking at dynamic data sets, you're reviewing that data frequently. Basically, if you're using it for advanced find, don't create a view. If you're doing a view, don't just do an advanced find. Save it as the view. For dashboards, that's the ability to view items graphically. You can combine like data sets into up to 7 different views or charts within a dashboard. And then you can drill down into those charts as well. And then you can compare different charts as well, because you have 6 to 7 charts right there available, and you can compare them against each other. Now, the reason why this applies back to views is because you can put views into your dashboard, and a chart is built off of a view. The data from the view is what is displayed within the chart, which is then displayed on a dashboard. So when do you not want to use a dashboard? When you're combining unrelated items. So it's not really a good idea to have a dashboard just full of anything that just random information. It's not going to be beneficial because you really don't know what you're looking at. Like, what's the point of this dashboard? Why did we just throw all this random information together? Or if you need the ability to group raw data. If you want to group raw data together, you're looking more at a report, and specifically a report wizard report, which is built within CRM. So you can group data together. You can group it by, let's say, an owner or a salesperson, group it by a product segment, group it by a product category. You can even group it by an industry. Okay, there's a lot of different data groupings that you can do. Now, your filtering is predicated on the same logic that's used to build views in advanced find. That's why it's all kind of built on top of each other. You can also do numeric values with summation. So if you want to look at estimated revenue and you want to total it up for each grouping, and then also at the very end, reports can do that. You can also view charts and data together with grouping and summation. Highly customized reports and charts and unique logic that requires customization, you're going to not want to use a report wizard report. We're looking more at a custom report at that time. So what can custom reports do, and when should I use them? Custom reports, it's when you want to distribute a report and it's appealing, maybe for like an annual review or annual meeting, where you want to hand out a nice report. Custom reports probably going to be your best option. You want to do some comparison with calculated fields. You want to do some filtering after the report is already generated. Customized charts. Columns not related to the data. One of the things you're going to learn with an advanced find topic today is that a one-to-many relationship, you can't bring those columns in when it's on the many side of that relationship. So when you can't pull the columns that's not related to the data or has a specific type of relationship that you can't pull, you're looking at a custom report. And then related records with no data. One of my favorite reports that's in the oil and gas product is active accounts without any contacts or without a task or an open opportunity. That's really great because it helps to keep your data clean. It helps to see like, okay, there's these accounts out there with no contacts. We really need to get on top of that. Or this account doesn't have a task associated or an opportunity. We need to get on that as well. Really, really great tool, but it requires a custom report. When do you not use a custom report? Anytime any of these other data methods allow you to get the information you need. So we're going to focus on the top one, the advanced find/view portion. The power of advanced find, basically, and I kid you not when I say this, advanced find will be your new best friend. It allows you to gather the data you need and then empowers you to give that data a voice. It's a really corny scenario, and trust me, Chad will call me out on this later, but it actually helps keep the information in your mind. So if you think about CRM as like Walmart, there's a ton of aisles, all these different things in there. That's like CRM. Ton of data. Where do I go to get this information? What Advanced Find is doing is it allows you to take Walmart and then narrow it down to the specific information you need. So narrow it down to, let's say, pasta you're looking for. Narrow it down to the pasta aisle. Then you say, well, I'm really only looking for whole grain pasta that's under so many calories. Okay? You've narrowed down all that information. Well, now that you've narrowed it down to these certain pasta items that you can look at, well, now you want to be able to see the nutrition facts compared next to each other. That's your columns. You're displaying the information from each record right in front of you. So you want to display the information that's important to you, and you want to filter it down to the items, to the records that are most important to you. Like I said, it's a corny scenario, but it does actually make sense once we start going into advanced find. So before we go into a couple of demos, I'm going to go over some best practices and tips for views in advanced find. There will be times that you come up with 0 results. Even if I know 100% there are records in CRM that match this filtering. Don't panic. Go back and analyze your filters. It could be that you set it to does not equal instead of equals, or you happen to use a grouping of and instead of or. Little things like that can throw it to where there's 0 results. So just an important piece to keep in mind. Remember that related entities, they have a connection back to the current entity. Think about it with accounts to contacts. Contacts are related back to accounts because the contact, it works for an account that's in your system. So there's that connection. Advanced Find uses the group and logic. So basically each filtering that you set says this and this and this need to match in order for it to show the results. If you want to use group or logic, you have to select them and then click group or. I recommend using that because it expands Advanced Find's capabilities. You cannot sort columns that were added from a related entity. This has bitten a lot of people before where they add one and it's like, I really want to sort by this. Why can't I? Anything from a related entity, you cannot sort by them. and you'll be unable to add a column to Advanced Find if there's no relationship at all within CRM, or if it's a one-to-many relationship. So think about it with accounts to contacts. I can't go into Advanced Find and say, I'm looking at accounts and I want you to show me every contact listed to that account, because it's only a one cell section and you can't put 100 items into one section. Okay, so even if there isn't 100, if it's the possibility to be more than one, so many, you cannot add columns by it. However, you could go the reverse route and say, show me all the contacts that have this listed as their company name, but your look for is set to contacts. It's very, very important. Utilize existing views, including system views, to start a new Advanced Find. There's times where you just simply want to add a column, take away a column, change it, make a slight tweak to the filtering. Well, instead of starting from scratch, basically recreating the wheel, start the Advanced Find with that view. Simply click Details, and you can make some changes, and then save it as your own personal view. Keep in mind, anything you do here with an Advanced Find, when you save it as a view, it's a personal view. It's not a system view. It's completely your view. Because they're your views, you want to keep them clean, because if you keep adding to them, you have so many personal views that you don't know what each one does, or some have become outdated. Keep them clean. Get rid of the ones that don't apply anymore. And views, they can be changed and updated through Advanced Find. Set a default view. If you have a view that's the one that you, every time you go into that entity for the first time, that's the one you want to see first, set that as your default view. It's a simple thing to do, but it actually saves a little bit of time and frustration. You can sort views by up to 2 columns. If you do that, it helps you be more efficient, because you sorting it, and then you're sorting it secondarily to get the most important information up at the top that pertains to you. Share your views with your coworkers. If you have somebody in a similar role or would benefit from the information, share it with them. But be cautious when you're allowing other users to assign and delete your views, because you don't want to delete it. You don't want them to take ownership away from you. Now we've got some scenarios. Our first Advanced Find scenario today is we're going to create a list of your customer accounts that have at least one open opportunity in the grease product segment with the following characteristics. The primary contact has an email address. And then we're going to add some specific columns. And then we're going to save the Advanced Find as a view, and then share it with our coworkers. So let's jump into CRM, and I'll show you how easy this is. So we're going to wait for this to load real quick. All right. This is your Advanced Find button right here. It's available on basically every screen in CRM. Simply click here. It's going to open up this Advanced Find window. If you take anything away from this training, look for is the most important piece in Advanced Find. Look for is your end goal. So always keep your end goal in mind. So if we go back to our earlier scenario where we said we wanted to show all contacts for a specific account, we're not looking at accounts first, because our end goal is to list contacts. So in that case, we would set our look for to contacts. In our scenario, yes, we talk about opportunities quite a bit and contacts, but our end goal is to create a list of your customer accounts that have at least one opportunity in the grease product segment. So I want to set my look for to accounts. I'm going to set my filtering on accounts first. Now I said these are your customer accounts. So my customer accounts. So the owner equals current user. And the reason why you can share this view then is because equals current user looks to who's logged in and then shows all the accounts owned by the person that's logged in. So in that case, me. When I say customer accounts, that goes off of relationship type. So my different relationship types that are out there are right here. So I simply want to do customer. So I double click customer, click OK. And I really only want to look at accounts that are active. I don't care if they're inactive. We're not working with them. So I'm going to double click active. Now I have my accounts filtering set. But I did say that the primary contact has to have an email address. So I want to look at related entities. So we go all the way down here to related, and we're going to go down to primary contact. And primary contact is through a lookup field. So there's only one primary contact for the one account. So I want to say the email right here contains data. Okay. Now our last one is based off of opportunities. And as you all know, opportunities, there can be many opportunities for one account. So it's a one-to-many relationship. So I can't show any columns, but I can filter by it. But there's a very important item to keep in mind. Because we're going opportunities through the account, what I want to make sure is that any opportunity listed, as long as one of them meets the criteria, it will show the account. So if I say, show me all accounts that equal this scenario, and they have an open opportunity with Greece as their product segment, there can be 20 opportunities out there. As long as one opportunity has Greece as the product segment, it will then trigger into this list. So then we go product segment, because this is now looking at the fields within the opportunity. I go product segment equals, and then I just start typing Greece, and there it is. So that's all I had to do was this right here. Now it is all set. Okay, so then I come here and I want to create specific columns. So I go to edit columns, and I want to make sure that I list the account name. We'll go ahead and leave the account number because that's an important piece. I don't really need to know the owner because I'm the owner. So I'm going to remove. I don't need to know the main phone number, the address, so street, city, state. I don't need that information. So all I'm doing is clicking on it and clicking remove. But what I do want to do is I want to add the primary contact's full name and their email address. So to do that, I just change my record type down here to primary contact right here. So I go primary contact, and then I look for their full name and their email. So first is going to be email. So I scroll down, there's email, and then next will be full name. And now I can simply move this the direction I want. I'm going to do account name, then full name, then email, and then the account number. So then I click OK. Now I have this set. Now let's see what the results look like. So I click results, and I've got one out there that meets this criteria. Okay. Now I want to save this view because I'm a new employee. I've got one out there, and I plan to be, setting up a few more opportunities for my accounts in the product segment of Greece. So I want to keep this as a view that I'm constantly looking at. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click Save As, and say Customer Accounts with Greece Opportunity. And then I click Save. Now what I'm also going to do is I'm going to share this with one of my coworkers, so they then, because they're also going to be doing some more selling within the Greece product segment. So I'm going to come down here, find my customer accounts with Greece opportunities, check mark it, and click share. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to click add user or team, and I'm going to search for my individual here. Double click, it's Brad is my coworker. So I'm going to double click Brad's name, click add. And then I have to give him read access. If I don't give him read access, I'm not sharing it with him. So I got to give him read access so he can view it. And then I'm also going to give him the ability to edit, but I don't want him to delete it, assign it, or share it with anyone else. So then I click share. Now keep in mind, this will not notify Brad that I shared a view with him. You need to let them know. And then in their drop-down listing, under accounts, when you can select your view, under the My Views portion, that's where it will show for him. And here's an example of what this advanced find looks like. Oh, and I apologize. I forgot to add the status equals open for the product segment. So actually, let me jump back and show you how to add that. So if I go to advanced find, and actually what I want to do is I want to add the status to equal open, because this will change. This has the potential to change my results. So you click OK, and then we do results. Still the same results. However, I want to make sure that I save the change. Now this is great because I made a change, and a common question is, if I make a change, is this going to reflect also within Brad's view? Yep, it's the same exact view. So any changes that I make will reflect for Brad as well, and his ability to see the view. So you can refer to this at any point by watching the video, so it can help you get a starting point for creating your own types of views. Our second advanced find scenario today is you would like to create a list of order history for all your accounts, for all the accounts that you own that were ordered over the last 3 months. The product segment is Grease or DEF, and the product category is Chevron. And then we're going to add a few columns right here. So let's jump on in. So most importantly, what am I looking for? I'm not looking for accounts. Yes, I'm looking for accounts that I own, but I am looking for the order history of those accounts. So what do I need to do? I need to change my look for to order history. So I go to order history, and then I start my filtering. So my filters are going to be who's ordered over the last 3 months. So I'm looking at order date. And then with dates, you have a lot of different qualifiers to choose from. And we're going to do last X months, where X equals 3. And then we stated that our product segment is Grease or DEF. So then I go down to product segment equals. And then if I just click enter, it brings me up to this lookup record section. So I start typing in Grease, double click, and then I'm going to add DEF. Double click to add, click add. Now, as I mentioned before, that out of the box will basically automatically advanced find groups as and. The time that it doesn't do that is with option sets and lookup records. When I click both of these, it's not saying it has to be Grease and DEF, it's saying Grease or DEF. And same thing with an option set. When I select 2, within the logic it's saying or, either or of these two. But between these two, this is saying the order date must be in the last 3 months, and the product segment must equal Grease or DEF. So an important piece to keep in mind. And the product category needs to equal Chevron. So let's start typing in Chevron and bring it up. Now, if I wanted it to be the product segment was Grease or DEF, or the product category was Chevron, I would just do select row, group or. And then if I want to take it away, ungroup. And it's back to the way it was. Now, our last condition is we want to pull this for only the accounts that I own. So we're not looking at this account. We want to go down to the related account and say the owner equals current user. Okay. Now we want to edit our columns. So what information do I want to display to tell my story? Well, the order date's important because it's over the last 3 months. I don't need the order ID. I do want to show the account. I definitely want to show the product segment. Product's a good item to have. But what I want to make sure that I show is the product category, the department, and then total revenue, total gross profit, and total multiplied volume. Now, the total multiplied volume is very important because I want to make sure that I am displaying the multiplied information. So the views that come in CRM that we've created for you already utilize the multiplied volume. So when you're creating your own, you want to utilize total multiplied volume. So if we come down here, total gross profit, total multiplied volume, total revenue. And then I'm going to click OK. And then just like before, I can move these around to wherever I want them to be. So if I want to move department all the way up to right next to product segment and also move product category as well. And then I have my total gross profit, multiplied volume, and revenue. Now let's say I know product category can be a little bit bigger. I want to increase the size here. The more the pixels, the wider it is. The less pixels, the narrower it is. So then you see how it increased in size. And I can also configure sorting by clicking here. And I can remove items by clicking on them and clicking remove. Now that we have it saved, let's look at our results. So we click on results, and then we have all of our information. The order date, which we can then sort by, the account number, the department, the product segment, the category, the product itself, and the total gross profit, multiplied volume, and revenue. Okay. And then you can refer back to this at any point as well. Some other advanced find capabilities that you can do is within the results section. So you can do there's bulk edit capabilities through the Excel spreadsheet. You can export it to Excel, make some changes, and then do a re-import. You can also there's bulk edit within advanced find as well. But that's where you need to make the same change to all the items that you selected. You can create new records, assign records, share those records. So you don't just have to share the view through advanced find. You can also share the specific records. You can add them to marketing lists, deactivate, activate, or delete. Again, highly recommend you don't delete items because once it's gone, it's gone. You can also send emails, merge records, do mail merges, create quick campaigns. Remember how I mentioned before in the data methods report wizard, it uses the advanced find logic. Well, now that you've created an advanced find view, why not run a report off of that filtering that you've already done? Then you can choose the report. There's an on-demand workflow. You can run the workflow. You can also run Excel and Word templates. Excel template is run off the view. Word template, you have to check mark a specific record to do that. And then you can also check for duplicates. So that's all for our main topic today. Next, we're going to jump into some user-submitted questions. Our first question from a user is, can you review the territory management app? Definitely. Let's jump on in. So if I go back here under dashboards, that's where territory management exists. So if I click on the little drop-down arrow, I'm going to go to dashboard 98, territory management. And there's a few different actions that you can do. You can map accounts or leads that are in a specific view. So that view that we created for the accounts from earlier, I can scroll down here to my views, and then I can do customer accounts with grease opportunities. And I can choose to only show the accounts or leads that I own, or I can show everything. So then if I click show map, only one of ours is going to show up, and that just happens to be us right here at Let's View Partners. If I wanted to do, let's say, leads that I follow, I can do show map, and then it will create a new map. And actually, I am not following any records, so when you have that, it's going to be blank. What I'm going to bring up quickly is my active accounts, show map, and then I'm going to show you the legend so you have an idea as to what each of these dots mean. So we're just going to wait for this to finish loading. It does take a little bit. And oddly enough, see here, I have an account. I have what looks like an account in Australia, but is it an account? It is. It's listed as a prospect. Oops, sorry about that. So green is that our accounts are coded as customers. So remember back to our advanced find where we set the relationship type to customers. Those are green. Anything coded as prospect, and usually prospects means that it hasn't been put in your ERP system. It's not fully a customer yet. It hasn't been changed to that. So when you qualify a lead, it sets that account as a prospect. Other types of accounts, meaning anything that's not coded as customer or prospect. And then blue are any open leads. Now, in addition to mapping things in a view, you could actually go, okay, well, I know I'm visiting this one account, and I have the ability to travel up to 30 miles around that to visit any other leads or accounts that I have. Or if I just want to go to leads or accounts, I can change that too. Then I look up the account. I'm going to look up Fairview. And see how Fairview doesn't come up? That's because I have this checked. As soon as I uncheck it and click search, there's Fairview. So click OK. I can choose to only show the accounts or leads that I own, or I can show everybody's. So if I click show map, I can see what's around Fairview. We see here we have quite a few records around Fairview. And you can drag and pull as well. Okay. And you can do it within the radius of an account or the radius of a lead, or if you just know the address you're going to, you can just simply plug in your address or the city. And I can do show map. Show me all the ones around Appleton, Wisconsin. And then there they are, right there. So territory management is a really powerful tool. One way that I've seen somebody use this, which I thought was a really great idea, they sold generators, and they wanted to look at all their accounts that were actually within 30 miles of a tornado that came through, because they knew, hey, they're probably going to be needing some backup generators. So they did that, used territory management to find that information, and then they set appointments. Down here, they clicked on them and it says schedule an appointment. So they scheduled an appointment, or they just simply grabbed the phone number, gave them a call right there. So if you're visiting them, you can schedule an appointment, or like the gentleman that was calling for the generators, just simply grab the phone number and gave them a call. You can also just view the information, check mark or click on the radio button and click view, and then it will pop open the record right here. So once it loads, then you can see all the account information right here. Or you can export the entire list out to Excel. So territory management is a really, really powerful tool, and it's not just used for mapping accounts of maybe where you're going to visit one and seeing what else is around there. That's a great use for it, but there are many other uses as well. And also seeing where all your accounts are within the country. Also, as a manager, you can look at different users and see where their accounts are. And if maybe you need to do some realignment based on territories, if you have a couple outliers, and then reassigning those records. That's another great use of it as well. Our last question for today is, the app does not work for all entries. Wondering when the new app will be ready for use. And then with this, I believe that the user asking the question is referring to the iPad app and referring to the new mobile app. We are working on a new mobile application that will replace the iPad app. We are in the internal testing phases for that, and we plan on having the app in one of our customers' hands to do some additional testing, because we want to make sure that we test this all out very soon. Based on how all of our testing goes, we will determine when we're going to roll this out to the rest of our customers. As of right now, we're looking late Q1, early Q2 to roll the mobile app out to everyone. Thank you very much for your time today. I'm going to hand it back to Chad.
All right, thanks a lot, Mike. Great information, and hopefully everybody becomes a true master at Advanced Find. I know I love the Advanced Find feature in CRM, and it can uncover anything in there, endless possibilities. So hope you can join us in March the 27th at 11 a.m. for our next user group webinar, where we're going to be featuring goals, great thing for 2018, and also the the latest release with the Gap to Gold feature to make sure everybody is taking advantage of that. So without that, we're always here for you. Thank you very much and enjoy your day. Bye.